Greetings, fellow sim racers. Right, I've been playing RennSport for a couple of weeks, and I thought it's about time I did a review of how it seems to work, and that's in terms of racing other people, and that's kind of in the physics. And you've got tyre physics, and then car contact physics. So here's me discovering stuff. This was just like the first couple of days when I was trying to work out how the tyre physics work. Kind of like talking to myself as I was doing a live stream. Yeah, but these physics are weird. They sort of work, but they're weird. Because you can throw a car into a corner, but it doesn't really start to slide until the tyres go red, and then it starts to slide. So it initially grips. Look at that nice turn, but then it goes. It's like there's a. It's odd. It's odd. The tyres heat up too quick and cool down too quick, but the way the tyres heat up is somehow fundamental to the physics. So I could just whack the steering in, and you get a good initial turn, and then you'll get the oversteer as the back starts to overheat as well. So you get initial turn, which shouldn't happen because of the weight transfer, should make you want to go straight on. And then the tyre starts to overheat, and then you start to get actual understeer or oversteer, depending on what tyre's overheated. I mean, it's not really how things work in real life. It's kind of a good approximation, but there needs to be a lot more emphasis on weight transfer and less emphasis on tyres heating up, which causes loss of grip. Yeah, so you can be really leery. Look at that understeer. And you can't recover it because the tyres start overheating. The tyres start overheating, and then that means you lose more grip. Well, they call the tyre, how quickly that tyre's cooled down. So I reckon the people who are playing on PC, who've been playing this game for 2 or 3 years, know this about the physics. And anyone who tries to drive these cars realistically isn't exploiting the physics. So I wonder, can you drive this by whacking it into the corner for the first split second and then opening the steering up and then it turns? Let's see what that does. That's a very unnatural way to drive. Over tyre, rear overheated, and you got oversteer. Whack in. Yeah, there'll undoubtedly be a trick or a hack or an understanding that the PC players have learned over the years they've been playing the game, about how these tyre physics work, but they are unusual. As I was saying, as I was discovering, and I still think the same about a week and a half later, the tyres seem to heat up too fast and cool down too fast. The tyre's surface temperature, anyway, the core temperature keeps going up, but the core temperature doesn't seem to make much difference to the surface temperature. If it is, it's small, and it doesn't make that much difference to the tyre pressure either. Quite warm tyres at 20 degrees warmer might only go up by about half a bar, if that. Yeah, they're weird. As I say, they kind of work, but there'll be a hack that people will have figured out over time, and that hack isn't natural driving. As I was finding out again on that stream, you could sort of whack it into a corner and it would get grip, and the tyre would start to overheat, and only when the tyre surface starts to overheat do you then really start to lose grip. But then when you come out and the tyre's apparently really, really hot, as you come out the corner or stop turning, the tyre surface cools down really, really quick, and that's not really how it works. It they need to heat up and cool down much more slowly, and they might need more emphasis on car weight and contact patch, load, and so on to govern if a car's going to understeer or oversteer rather than the surface temperature of a tyre. It's weird. But there's the tyre physics, which you can learn and deal with, but the car contact physics are something else. They are way too delicate, way too unforgiving, and unfortunately anti-racing. And for a game which appears to be its focus is esports and racing people online, these physics are way, way, way too delicate. And you'll see what I mean in this clip I found out when I was racing pretty much day one or day two.
Oh, fucking what?
Look at how minor and tiny that contact is. So light, such just a tiny little edge. Violence.
Fucking what?
With that kind of light touch, that's just going to make racing impossible in this game. There's always going to be a little bit of contact somewhere with tin tops. And to have that kind of violent take, I mean, Jesus, the speed which the car pitched left and just spun round is just unbelievable. But also, that's going to also make it very, very easy for people to take someone out if they want to as well. You've got to, that has to be fixed. If you can't fix that, then your game is dead, because no one's going to want to race. It's just going to be way too easy to get taken out. And I've seen it loads of times already as well. There's been a victim and even a perpetrator, all accidental as well. But that's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. That must be changed. There's no question about it, that must be changed. I mean, that's way too sensitive. That's way more sensitive than real life. It's going to make league racing impossible, competitive racing impossible. And that bit I said about how people will know how to use this to take people out. Classic example. Swings out, comes in, tap, you're dead. Oh, and look, I'm so dead. Utterly dead. So watch the radar, he swings out, get a bit of momentum, turns in, nudge. That's all it needed. And so what you got are people driving in fear. They're driving scared. So there's a contact, that guy hits him at the backside in the chicane, but it completely ruins him. He's off and gone. Here's an example of Gran Turismo. So that guy was trying to get out of the way and avoid me, and he was scared. This, Gran Turismo, two guys going side by side, rubbing away, not a problem, we both survive. And then you got to go back to, you just fixated on the radar, panic brake, because I thought I was going to hit that guy, and I probably was. The distance seems different to what you see in the car to what goes on the radar as well. It's not just about the rear view mirror. But look at this, the wide berth, masses and masses of space between cars. People are driving scared, and I got the second part of this chicane wrong. I could see him coming at the inside, and I just gave a massive wide berth. He gave me a massive wide berth. Dare not go side by side, and submitted. An example of a start. Again, you fixate on the right. That guy, he's going round. Slightest little touch, he's gone. He's out of there, and he's last now, and with damage, undoubtedly. And again, you're going, side by side. This is the start. I'm like into the Beau Rouge, panic. No, I'm going to let him go. Gran Turismo, you go side by side there with 2, 3. Sometimes I've seen even 4 people. You would just hang it side by side, and you'd all survive. But here it's just like wide berths. Going past people, you're going, please don't take me out, please don't take me out. Gran Turismo, standard corner, total chaos, bumping and barging. Everyone's still pointing the same way though. I got a bit of damage on the front, but everyone's still going. There's a couple of penalties, but no one is facing backward. No one is out of the race. Everyone's still going, and the little bits of contact don't matter. A bit of lag going on there, a bit of side contact doesn't matter. They keep going. There's no issues. You just carry on racing. And then you look at RennSport again, and this guy, he saw me coming, but panicked and left room again. So if you look at the slow motion, he turns in, then turns out to let me go through. Again, coming up to go around Blanchimont side by side, I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. Panic, back out of it completely. It's just slightest touch in that corner and you're both miles off the track and destroyed. And then obviously overtook into the bus stop, which he gave me a wide berth for. Gran Turismo by comparison, same race I had with this guy, and you go side by side and you're approaching Blanchimont, and you just hang it side by side, and you go side by side, and then maybe there is a bit of a rub, who knows, but it doesn't matter, you both keep going. It's totally different. But what it means is in RennSport you're never going to get the intelligent battling moves like you're about to see here as standard in GT7. And then this guy, God, he really squeezed me hard there, so I faked to the outside, then switch and brake at the same time for the inside. So you see, I move over, you'll see it better from this angle, I move to the inside. As soon as I've moved to the inside, I'm on the brake, so I've moved to the inside at the point I want to brake. Just enough car on the inside. So that was a classic dummy. This is a classic poach. This Wiggy is overtaking Bobby P. And you wouldn't dream of doing this in RennSport because you're going to make a little bit of a rub, but it's touring cars. That happens, and you're not too bothered, and it's all pretty fair. You would never poach like this. I can tell you now, you'll never see a move like that in RennSport because people just will not dare do it. So it's anti-racing, it's anti-battling. And, there was, I think, contact, but it was so minor. But RennSport, you're in trouble. This guy turns in late into the corner. But it doesn't matter. A little bit of contact, he's still going. And it's not a problem for him. So the result, when you get people who are scared of racing, you're happy to just settle for a position. I'm in, second place. I'm happy with second. Trying to overtake that guy in front is going to be hard work, but look at the gaps in the field. It's lap 2 and already 7th place is 12 seconds back. End of the race, it's some people are even getting lapped. If you look at the 7th place guy, for an example, 94 seconds back in that race, and again look at the 7th place guy, he's 40 seconds back. That's a 94 second one, but big gaps. Gran Turismo, this is your average race. Look at the gaps. At 7th place, he's 12 seconds back. First to third are lapping within a few tenths of each other, and even to 6th aren't particularly slow. So, and that's not a special close finish in Gran Turismo at all. That's just your average sort of race. It's just so much closer, so much more competitive, and so much more about racing. And you have to say, RennSport, because it's more sim, it's not really a racing game. It's, with sims, it's more about keeping it on the island, working your setup, managing tyres. That's all good. But coming from Gran Turismo, most recently for me, I've done loads of sims, but coming from Gran Turismo, the racing in that is utterly unmatched by anything in the world. You will not get close racing, you will not get rubbing, you'll not get action, you'll not get inventive moves and defensive moves as well as overtaking moves or anything like you do in Gran Turismo. But with RennSport, because those contact physics are so delicate, you can see everyone is driving in fear. No one dare race, no one dare go side by side, no one dare do an inventive move, no one even dare defend hard. And if there's a real close battle between similar paced drivers, you'll kind of give up and will settle for whatever position you're in, because you're just quite happy managing to finish the race rather than risking a move and ending up being completely splattered all over the track. So yeah, it's a shame. The physics are good enough, the driving's good enough, force feedback's good enough, all the things that need to be good enough are good enough, except the wheel-to-wheel racing, and it's really quite poor, unfortunately. I mean, yes, comparing it to Gran Turismo 7 isn't fair. They're totally different games. Gran Turismo's physics are vastly inferior, much more simplistic. Cars don't respond to setup like they do in RennSport. The kind of thing you'd expect. So they're two different games, two different philosophies, and two totally different types of fun. RennSport, you'll have more fun if you like car setup, doing hot laps, keeping a car on the island, fighting physics, but generally being quite alone on the track. And you will be quite alone on the track, and trying to move is terrifying. And say the Gran Turismo experience I've had for the last couple of years, trying to move is the most fun thing about the entire game. And having a close battle, and with position swaps to in and fro in, other people trying inventive stuff on you trying inventive stuff on them, both in attack and defence. It's just brilliant fun, and it's a fun that is just unmatched. Out of all the different sims I've tried, it's just absolutely unmatched. But that's okay. I got two games here. I got one where I can do sim stuff and be having fun but quite bored, and I can do GT7 stuff where I'm gritting my teeth trying to wring the neck out of a car just to gain that half a tenth of a second so I can attack a guy into a corner, and I've got to do something clever in order to get past him. It's just amazing how different the world is. And in terms of esports, I guess this is the most important thing. In terms of esports, GT7 has it made on a whole other level of excitement and competitiveness, both for the competitors and probably even people watching as well. But we'll see what RennSport offers over time. There's a lot more cars and tracks to come. There's updates, there's bug fixes and all sorts to come. So whereas GT7 is kind of in its final version,